Our next speaker has been spreading his message of personal leadership for over 15 years. Mr. Rhett Laubach served as the Oklahoma State Secretary and President. He has a vast knowledge of agriculture and the FFA. Several years ago, he founded the YourNextSpeaker Corporation, a company that presents keynotes and inspirational speeches all across the nation. Washington FFA, please give a warm welcome to tonight's keynote speaker, Mr. Rhett Laubach.
I'm so glad they only invited the good-looking people to the convention tonight. Oh, yes. Oh. I'm from Oklahoma. Anybody been to Oklahoma? Anybody want to go to Oklahoma? No, you're like, anywhere but here, buddy. Come on, get me out of here. I grew up in Oklahoma. Before we even get into the speech, which they gave me about 15 minutes to talk, and it's 10 minutes into it, so I should probably move right to the closing. No, before we get to anything at all, yeah, we got a dance to get to. Come on, you don't want to hear this guy talk. Thanks a lot. Maybe we should bring the good-looking speaker, Jake, back out here. Maybe he'd like that better. Woo! He is so pretty. Isn't what this thing is all about. This thing is huge. This is not your normal organization. This is not a normal thing. You are not normal people, and you know this, right? Yeah. I've had 3 people that are delegates sitting behind me all night going, woo! To everything. And they are excited and they have no idea why. And I love that about FFA members, you know? It doesn't matter what grade you're in, FFA members walk around like freshmen that wear whitey-tighties all the time. Like, woo! 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 And then when they get to be state officers, then they're like freshmen wearing whitey-tighties that like took a bath in Red Bull, you know what I mean? It's awesome. So why are we here tonight? Well, I want you to actually, you know, all night long, particularly in the pre-session, everyone's been saying, make noise, get louder, and you're like, dude, that's all I got. I got to save some for tomorrow, right? And so I want to go completely opposite. I want you to get as comfortable and as silent as you possibly can. Seriously, I can't see you, but I can't hear you getting comfortable. You can hear comfortable because, that's a man getting comfortable right there. Oh, yeah. That's enough, guys. They're duly impressed by your manlyhood. Which, by the way, I was asked earlier if Clint Eastwood and John Wayne got in a fight, who would win? No. If Clint Eastwood and John Wayne got in a fight, Chuck Norris would win. So, I got you. That's right. That's exactly right. Okay. You're no longer comfortable. You're all like chucked up now. Woo! You got to get comfortable again. So I want you to get as comfortable as possible. I want you to get as silent as possible. Now, silence in the room of 2,871 people is very simple. Just make sure that the person sitting very comfortably where you're sitting doesn't make a single sound. Let's see if we can do that. We've been getting loud all night long. We've been just you know, getting crazy. Let's see if we can take it to the complete opposite. Wow. That just happened right there. That just happened. Probably not the craziest thing he's going to say all day either. Hey, I don't know if y'all can do this or not. I mean, is this the Washington FFA or not? Can you get silent? You get excited with noise. Can you get comfortable with silence? That's all I want to test here. And we'll let it live. We'll let it breathe. We'll let it, you know, the silence kind of space out a little bit. We'll let the funny jokers in the room, you know, get their funniness out. the state officer wannabes to tone it down a little bit. I am provoking the audience. I must stop. I must have Zen-like reflexes. Shh. See if you can get quiet. Actually, let's turn the lights out and make everybody that's watching on the web think that the signal dropped. Shh. Now I want you to listen. Really listen. What are you doing with your time in the FFA? What are you doing with it? There were 3 moments in my FFA career that absolutely changed my life. November 1986, back when the National Convention was still held in Kansas City. Some people in the room remember. Cold is Kansas City in November, end of October. 6-hour drive from my hometown in Oklahoma. 1,000 people. Grew up on a pig farm. One of those towns where, you know, you call the wrong number, talk for like 30 minutes because it's your uncle. You know what I'm talking about. 6-hour drive to Kansas City every year. November 1986, my first year in the FFA. Didn't enroll as an 8th grader. That was my freshman year. Didn't enroll in the 8th grader. Now, a couple of minutes ago, I told you that my dad was the ag teacher, and then I didn't enroll in ag as an 8th grader. He wanted to kill me. And we have an outhouse. I didn't just, clean inside more. I cleaned the outhouse, the wash house. I cleaned everything. I mean, it was crazy. But he let me do it. And I've been telling that story about not enrolling in ag my 8th grade year for years, thinking that it was about me, that I was just a dumb little kid not getting involved in what would turn out to be in my top 3 things that changed my life. It wasn't about me. It was about my dad. It was about Dad saying, all right, I've loved the blue and the gold since I was a fetus, and I've been telling him the same, that if he wants to make his own life, he can do his own thing. Wow. You talk about service. I mean, we've got teachers and we have parents and we have sponsors in the room who, we will never, ever, ever have enough energy, enough words, enough time to say thank you. My lands thank you. And I thank my dad every single time that I think about telling an FFA story, because he let me be the best 8th grade band baritone player that I could be for 12 months. And then when he knew I didn't have the lips for it, he knew that I'd shuffle on over to the then vocational agriculture class. But November of 1986, it was in Kansas City. We were staying at the Motel 6 like we always did in Lenexa, Kansas, because, ag teachers, cheap as possible, right? And so, Motel 6. The Motel 6, right? 6 different species of roaches you'll find in the Motel 6, Tom Boat Dad will leave the light on for you, but nothing else, you know what I mean? And so, Motel 6. I remember November 1986 walking into Kansas City, walking into the arena there, National Convention, right? Little freshman, okay? I was about 5, 6, I think, my freshman year. 180 pounds. Yep, set me on my side, same height. You know what it was like. And so I walk in, and I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. I will remember to this day walking in to that arena. Vespers was going on, and I still remember walking in to that arena as a freshman, and just the feeling that ran over me, right? Just the goosebumps, and I had no idea why. But it was at that moment that I made the first of 3 jumps that I had to make to really discover my drive in the FFA, so to speak. And it was at that moment that I learned that the FFA was not about my local chapter only. It was not about us 60 kids in this small town. It was not about the 25,000 Oklahoma FFA members. It was not about the 2,800 students that come to a convention. It was about the fact that this is a 500,000 member organization strong.